How do you get pimped by somebody that's illiterate? How does that happen? Like most of you, I watched the R. Kelly, Surviving R. Kelly. You got to think about where that came from. First of all, it was on Lifetime Network, uh, television show for women, by women. What that means basically is that women could put you up and they could bring you down. A lot of times, women are good marketers. They can move things where a woman, if she likes something, she could go back and take it to her man and, musically or whatever the venue is, entertainment, or if it's just a good product, she could go back and take it to her man. If it's useful to her man will pick it up too. But in the same token, when women stop liking you, especially in the world that we live in today, uh, women are more empowered, and it's like they can bring you down also. So a lot of the things that was said on that documentary, was more like a thing of cause and effect. Now, behind every story, there is some truth behind it. And I believe that, worst case scenario, it was a lot of inappropriate things going on with R. Kelly and these women and the way that he mistreated these women. A lot of them, I don't condone that. It's like you can have as many women as you want if that's what you choose to do. But in the same token, treat them nice, love them, adore them, if that's what you choose to do. But don't mistreat nobody. Don't not feed them, don't take advantage of them because they minors, and these allegations and things of that nature. What is the role that they play in this? Because they have some responsibility too. It's like the way that you make children better children is that you coach them up. You make them secure in they from you. That's how you do that. You check in with your kids. You make sure that your kids are, okay. They will. They're where they're supposed to be. That's what you do as a parent. You have a responsibility to protect your children from somebody like R. Kelly. There's a lot of R. Kellys out there. He just happens to be the most famous one out there that is a predator. You don't leave your kids with nobody that you can't trust. And even people that you trust, you should have an eye on them too, because that's how things go on. In our community, there's a lot of cracks in the foundation or whatever. And a lot of it is like we as black people and minorities think that we're okay. We don't need therapy or whatever. And we're just fine. We're functioning. If you have problems, if you've been molested, you need therapy. And that's just not for molestation. It could be for anything. Any problem that you have and it's a problem and you can't get past it, you need therapy. But in our community, therapy is frowned on, or I don't need no help, I'm fine. The smart man or the smart woman always know that they need help. Actual facts. Uh, yeah, but it's like most men, R. Kelly had a niche. Those women that he went after, and don't get me wrong, it's like they're beautiful women, but not beautiful women for his stature. Remember, at this time, R. Kelly could have had anybody that he wanted to have in the world. If he wanted models, he could have them. But it's like when you are illiterate, and this is something that he said himself that he couldn't read or whatever, and they expounded on this. And let's break it down. When you are illiterate, it's like you're stuck in a place. You can't move past that place. People that are mentally challenged, a lot of times people say that they have a childlike mind. They get stuck in a place. So a lot of the women that he preyed upon, he identified with them because they had childlike minds and they was minors. It's like these were women that people wouldn't necessarily come looking for. It's like in our community, you don't get the same kind of love that you get in the other type communities. That's how it is in a lot of the hood communities, whatever. It's like a lot of these women, they expounded on it in the documentary that they was working or whatever. It's like, and when you work, it's like you don't have a lot of time to do anything else outside of work, especially if you're a single parent. But you still do have an obligation and a responsibility to your kids. And that's what it is. It's like R. Kelly, he took advantage of his situation. He took advantage of his stature, the place he was in life. Because you got to remember, in the 90s, he was bigger than anything or anybody not named Michael Jackson or Prince. He's the best, one of the best artists of our era. And that's actual facts. But it's like he took advantage of women that were basically naive, low self-esteem. He went out to malls, essentially put himself in places that kids went. He promised those women a dream. And then when he got them, they was teenagers. And he played on their insecurities. He played on their delusions. And, that's how he was able to attain these women. R. Kelly was the best thing that was going to happen to them. So, good or bad, these women went along with it, right or wrong. But if their parents had been there and, protected them from this predator, these things wouldn't happen. Especially your daughters. Man, you gotta love your daughters, and there's a difference between, women having fathers and not having fathers. There's a big difference. I see it with my child. I see it with other children that, actually have their father and they're there, and that the father is playing a role and not just in the house. He's teaching and coaching and training these people up. You training your children up. So on that note, I'm gonna get on out of here. I hadn't did a video in a long time, and here it is. I laid it out. I didn't cover everything that I wanted to cover, but I gave you the basics of what my thoughts were on the surviving R. Kelly. I admit, basically, man is delusional. That's it. At this point in his career, it's gonna end badly. Either he gonna end up in prison, or he gonna end up dead because he committed suicide or whatever. Took his own life because, at this point, the game is over for him. Man is older than me, and he chasing after young minors. That's over. As we speak, it's like the prosecutors, trying to have these women come forward and press charges and get enough stuff on him, so he'll be in jail for a long time. He'll be getting the Bill Cosby treatment.